Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at the University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Swing and a miss. Oregon is headed to the Super Regional.
Fans being out there making this a great impact.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Kelly, clock, time run off the clock, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, no foul yet. There's 2 seconds, Volatea dribbles, and it's over! Baylor doesn't commit a foul! Oregon just meandered away off the dribble. Oregon wins 76-74.
What a win, what a win, what a win inside Matthew Knight Arena last night for Oregon women's basketball. That was the game that you thought might happen with a group like this, and to get that win and to see this group this happy and elated after the game against a ranked Baylor team, man, is that fun to see. Chris Clayton on the call. Chris got his first ranked win on the call. Congratulations, Chris Clayton. We're so happy for you here at the Oregon Sports Network. It's Duck Insider today on a Veterans Day. Ryan Milano holding it down in studio, Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. And wow, I was inside Matthew Knight Arena last night, and the energy in there was electric. This is a new group for Kelly Graves, and to beat a Baylor team that was ranked number 12 at the time, to pull off that victory, a validating victory, a victory that has put Oregon inside the top 25 in their own right, as the AP poll dropped today for women's basketball. Ducks sitting at number 25. So Oregon back in the rankings, Oregon back beating ranked teams. It felt the way that Oregon women's basketball should feel. It felt really, 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 really good. Also on today's show, we'll touch on that, as well as Oregon football getting the win over Maryland over the weekend, as the Ducks on the gridiron stay undefeated as well, continuing to be the number one team in the country in the AP poll. College football rankings will drop on Tuesday. We will see where Oregon continues to be slated in there. Don't expect anything to change, at least I don't, from Oregon in the college football playoff poll as we continue to reach the back half of the season. Also, I'd be remiss not to mention that it is Veterans Day today. As the son of a veteran, the grandson of a veteran, means a lot to me. Thank you all for joining us on this holiday on a Monday. And so want to send thoughts, prayers, and thanks to all of the military out there today, and salute to service the way that we know how here at Oregon. So thank you all for joining us here on a Veterans Day holiday, and thank you all for being at Autzen Stadium on Saturday against Maryland in the first matchup between Oregon, the Ducks, and the Terrapins. And it was a game that got a little mushy, a little sloppy. It wasn't the cleanest game of the year for Oregon, but a win is a win is a win, especially as you get to this point in the season, as Oregon grinded out a victory and grinded out a 3-score win. You don't say that very often. 39-18. It was a 21-point victory, but it did feel like a grind for Oregon on Saturday. There were still some big plays to boot. Game recap, hearing from Jerry and Jorgie and everybody in the booth how Oregon got it done against Maryland on Saturday. Let's hear the game recap.
What a gorgeous day, evening for Oregon football. Maybe as spectacular as the game we may see here tonight. Oregon goes in a hurry, give it to James up the middle, drives 2-1, touchdown, Ducks! Jordan James running hard, earns the 6. Snap, Edwards Jr. back to throw. Looks middle, hit, ball came out. That might be a fumble. All the way downfield quickly. Brandon Johnson, nobody can catch him from behind. 10, 5, touchdown, touchdown Oregon. Now back to throw. Stop. Nobody open. Will scramble to his left. Now look to the middle. Throw it into the end zone. Was it caught? Yes! Touchdown! Teefberg! Touchdown, Oregon. He had to go low to pick it up. James with a fake. And it's going to work. They'll get a first down and more. 30, 35, downfield hard. Across the 50. Birch run that ball that way. Looked like a running back. The fake punt, and Birch got free down the left-hand side. He had some great blocking. Back to throw, rolling to his right, pressured, throwing the ball downfield. It is caught. Holden goes high in the air at the 3-yard line and comes down with the ball. Ferguson in the backfield as well. Back to throw, and wide open. Janoris Wilson, alignment, eligible, perfectly executed. Dillon Gabriel, 179 all-time total touchdowns. He now leads all-time, just past Case Keenum for number 1 in NCAA history. 32 rushing touchdowns, 140 passing, and a receiving touchdown. He's been a part of history, and you've been here to see it, Vince. Snapping back to throw. Quick throw, incomplete, intercepted. 10 inside the 5. Tyshim Johnson to the 4. There's your ricochet tip ball drill catch, almost a pick 6. Tyshim Johnson, great quick hands, and then a return inside the 5. Claps the hands, has the snap, back to throw. Pressure, backing up, throws a little short pass, it's intercepted. Jacobs comes up with a diving receiver-like grab, and ball goes back to Oregon. Gabriel, snap, back to throw on 3rd down and 8. Time, dumps it over the middle, it's caught. There's Stewart, gets a first down and more, he got it in!
You could tell that Evan Stewart was going to make a first down, but when he got to the sideline, that burst of speed to the pylon, amazing.
And your Ducks, 10-0. Only the 3rd time in program history Oregon has started 10-0 with a victory tonight over the Maryland Terrapins, 39-18.
Another win for Oregon on Saturday as the Ducks take down Maryland. And how about that drive with the fake punt? You've got Jordan Birch going down the sideline. You cap that drive off with number 91, who normally wears number 78, Janoris Wilson, catching the ball in the end zone. And then you cap off the entire drive by a direct snap to Josh Connolly, who ran the read option like a pro, sold the fake, tucked it, and then said, "Get off me," on his way into the end zone for the 2-point try. It was a big boy drive, and it was a whole lot of fun. That sequence alone throughout the game, not to mention Dillon Gabriel, a record setter, most total touchdowns in FBS history. That is a big one. There's a lot of records that we've seen Dillon Gabriel break. We went through it last year with Bo Nix, where there's a lot of records that these accumulators who went through the COVID year will rack up. But total touchdowns, that is a big record in college football, and hopefully Dillon Gabriel gets to hold on to that one for a long time, because that one is special. A lot of special things went down on Saturday. Not the cleanest game, some things to work on, some things to clean up. However, still a win, and that means that Coach Lanning a little bit happier on the podium. He spoke with the media post-game after the win for the Ducks. Let's hear the thoughts from head coach Dan Lanning.
All right, nice to walk away with a victory. That being said, I feel like we can play a whole lot better. And I think everyone probably saw moments of that. But you can't go through that game without recognizing, having the all-time touchdown leader in the NCAA with Dillon Gabriel and what he was able to accomplish there. He'll be the first one to tell you he doesn't care, but he should, because that's a really special moment for him. So I'm glad that we got to celebrate that tonight with him. Some really advantageous moments on defense, creating takeaways, some back against the wall moments too, where we took some risk and guys, took advantage of it, like Jordan Birch's run there on the fake punt. So that being said, we can open it up.
Dan, just your impression of the game that Jordan had, obviously, opening it up with the fumble forced, and then, getting the run on the fake punt, and any update, obviously, on his health.
Yeah, I think he's fine. Just tweaked his ankle a little bit. But, I'll have to watch the film. But, obviously Jordan had some game-changing plays in this game.
Both penalties for 95 yards after that had been so improved this year from the start of the year. What do you think happened tonight?
Yeah, it's poor performance by us. We got to go back and look at the film and figure out how we can eliminate that. But we didn't play clean. So, I don't know if we were distracted or we weren't focused. I felt like our guys had good energy and enthusiasm. But, we put ourselves in some bad spots on defense, giving them opportunities for first downs and hurt ourselves with some pre-snap penalties on offense. So it's definitely something for us to attack and clean up.
Early thoughts on just how the offensive line played with a couple new guys in there?
Yeah, I'll have to go evaluate it. I don't think we played well enough as a team tonight, but I'm not going to say that's the offensive line.
6 pass breakups for the defensive line tonight. What does it mean for those guys to be able to make an impact besides just getting to the quarterback in terms of pass defense?
Yeah, we knew the ball was going to be out quick. That was something that we had anticipated playing these guys and felt like that there was going to be more moments to create, PBUs on the defensive line than necessarily sacks. We didn't feel like they were going to hold on to the ball long. So that was a big point of emphasis, and those guys executed that.
Coach, what went into the decision on that last play from Gabriel to Janoris? Just seemed like a really special moment to make that kind of happen. Just why did you ultimately go with that play call in that situation?
We said we liked that play from the 3-yard line in our staff meeting this morning. We were at the 3-yard line, I think. So that's why we ran it.
Dan, the offense had stalled out a couple times, obviously start the third quarter. What inspired the fake on the punt? What inspired to go to Jordan there? And then you did some other just really unconventional stuff on that drive, guys who don't normally have the ball in their hands. What were you kind of trying to, I know score, but what were you trying to kind of get out of your whole
play to win? We were playing to go win. And, ultimately, like you mentioned, we kind of stalled out in the third. I didn't want that to be the case. We felt good about the fake that we had dialed up. Felt like there was even some moments maybe in the first half to utilize it, and did a great job there, executing it and keeping the drive alive and creating some momentum for us there in the third quarter.
After Wednesday's practice, you came to us and told us you weren't happy with the execution on the field. How much do you feel like that attributed this week to how you played today?
I think generally there's always a correlation between how you practice and how you play. That being said, I don't think we had necessarily a bad week of practice, but there's definitely some points of improvement for us.
With punt return and open audition, just what did you think between Evan having a tough one that first go and turning to Gary the rest of the way?
Yeah, it's just something we talked about. You don't want to see that happen. We felt good about Evan. He's fielded a whole lot of punts in practice and been really good at it, but didn't execute there. Gary came in and was sure-handed.
It looked like you guys on the first 2 drives. It almost looked like it was a completely different offense, going 3 and out to open the game and then having a really strong drive immediately after. I'm just wondering if you saw anything different on those 2 drives.
We were calling the plays we normally call. They just didn't work.
You mentioned kind of just a lack of overall great performance tonight earlier. Do you think, is that a lack of execution or a lack of effort coming into the night, or where is that?
I don't think it's a lack of effort, but it's maybe a lack of focus, right? And a good reset for our team to be able to do that. And then you also have to give credit. Maryland had a good plan. They're coming off a bye week, and they had some good answers for some of the stuff that we do.
As a coach, can you kind of explain the joy that you get from seeing someone like Janoris Wilson score a touchdown and kind of the energy that gives to your team?
Yeah, I do think momentum's real in a football game. And again, as a play that we like, I think that's the cleanest he's caught that play since we practiced it. So I was really glad to see him go attack the ball the way he did. Thought I'd get a good execution, good throw. So it was good to see it happen.
Seemed like you guys really came out trying to pass the ball and then established the run a little bit later. Was there something you guys saw against the defense that you really wanted to get the pass going first?
Yeah, we felt like this was a team that we were going to be able to create some, explosive passes, and that didn't really happen tonight. So we didn't do a great job there, somewhere to improve, but we were able to kind of lean back in on our run game there in the second half.
There are games, especially in this first season in the Big Ten, that are just obviously huge moments for this team. You get Ohio State here, you go to the Big House, you go to Wisconsin. This game doesn't necessarily jump off the schedule as one of those. Do you think that in some ways could have contributed to the focus, the issues that you were talking about? And I hate to say overlooked, but do you think maybe mentally guys could have?
We didn't play as well as we could, right? There's no doubt about that. I don't think our guys had a lack of prep, but we didn't play as well as we can. So, I'd say every game this year I felt like we've grown. This one, we got some growing moments. So we're going to go learn from it and improve.
With Dave and Gary both now playing, how do you feel like they can help each of their position groups in the next couple weeks games as the season progresses?
Yeah, continue to get better, right? Focus on where can they help this team and improve to make us the best version of ourselves.
First time having a game plan around not having Tez in the lineup at receiver. What did you think about what the pass catching group did to step up around his absence today?
Yeah, I'll have to go watch the film and evaluate it. I thought we had some drops early on. I also think Dillon would tell you he could put the ball in better spots, early on. But that's something we have to be able to execute. And when you don't do that, that's going to stall out some drives early, which showed up.
When containing their receiving core was obviously a huge part of this game, how do you feel like you guys did where Felton held at 72 and Prather hadn't been held that low since the end of last season?
Yeah, they're really good wideouts. We felt like they're some of the best that we've gone against this year. So, to be able to come out and play aggressively, put our guys on islands at times. I thought the guys executed that. That being said, I think our technique can definitely clean up.
So far this season, your defensive unit has been able to be extremely effective without necessarily forcing a ton of turnovers. Is there an excitement in the locker room to have turned over 3 times a day? And
I'll say we always emphasize it, but this week in particular, we emphasized it more. And I always say turnovers come in bunches, so they came in bunches tonight.
More pass interferences than we've seen from a while from your guys. Was there a correlation there, anything that needs to be changed?
I'll have to watch the film. I'm not positive. Some of them I thought were close.
Something non-football related, but I believe it was last year you spoke out about gun violence. There was a decision made in this country that I'm sure affects a lot of the players in your locker room, as well as the women in your life and the women on your staff. What was sort of the temperature in the locker room or with your team as a whole after that, the results were in, and was that something that sparked one of those get real conversations?
Yeah, our guys just work. They just work. So obviously, gun violence is something I've been passionate about, but that our guys just line up and go to work every single day. I'm glad to be in the country that we're in. Certainly proud to be an American and excited about the future of this country. But I'm not one to hop into politics.
Jordan James only had 1 carry in the second half. Was there a reason behind that? Is he okay health-wise?
Yeah, I have to evaluate. I'm not exactly sure where he's at. I think he could have gone back in, but we're being pretty conscientious of where he was.
Dan Lanning's reaction post-game brought to you by Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. I think we have to remember, it was a 21-point victory. Yeah, things to clean up. 12 penalties most of the year. Not great, obviously. Those are things to clean up. Coach Lanning, you just heard him. He'll tell you there's still work to do. If there's work to do after a 21-point victory to stay undefeated, you're doing some good things right. And there's always work to do. There's work to do every single week. On Facebook, Adrian asks, I know we got what Lanning said in the press conference you just listened to, wondering if there was any update today on Birch. Don't have one right now, but Coach Lanning will speak with the media later tonight in his weekly press conference. Programming note for Duck Insider, we won't have a show tomorrow because women's basketball overlaps, so we will have that on the show on Wednesday, unless we're going to use Lanning's media availability from Wednesday pre-practice when he talks to the media right before we go on the air for the show. So if we don't get it for you on Wednesday, it will be live on the Go Ducks YouTube channel. So if we don't get it on this program, there will be ways that you can watch Coach Lanning as he addresses the media for his weekly press conference previewing the game against Wisconsin coming up on Saturday, if that answers your question. Also coming up after this timeout, record breaker Dillon Gabriel. He got a big one. Talking to him when we return on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when.
Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Oregon football got the win on Saturday to remain undefeated on the season. Only 2 games left in the regular season, on the road against Wisconsin this week, and then not the week after, but the week after that, Oregon will host Washington here at Autzen Stadium because the Ducks have a bye week in between Game 11 and Game 12 of this season. But in Game 10, the one that was just played, Oregon got the win over Maryland 39-18 in large part due to their quarterback, who continues to have productive day after productive day and be a key contributor and leader for this team. Didn't have the most yardage in this game, 23 for 34, just 183 through the air, but 3 touchdowns, didn't turn it over. Dillon Gabriel commanding the offense and setting the record for the most total touchdowns in college football FBS history. Hearing from Dillon Gabriel post-game, his thoughts after he broke a record, here they are.
Who gets to keep a record-setting ball? You're a tackle-eligible offensive lineman.
Definitely Janoris. Gosh, what a way to score. Proud of him, and what a interesting way to do it. But he's worked hard at that one for sure.
Would you account for some of the slow start from the offense and kind of some up and down moments throughout?
Yeah, I think just inconsistency at times, and that starts with us as players. Just need to be better in those ways, but kind of like it for us though. Need to get better and continue to dial in. And adversity is real. You got to find ways to win when things aren't always going your way, and we definitely made it tougher on ourselves. But Maryland played really well as well. So
late in the game there, even with kind of a lopsided score, you're going on these long runs, scrambling kind of plays some people might not love to see their quarterback making. Mm-hmm. What does that say about your competitiveness, that you're still willing to put yourself on the line in those moments?
Yeah, anything to win. I think in those moments, you're never thinking that. Of course, maybe when you step away, you're like, oh, maybe I should be a little smarter in that moment. But when you need to get it and need to get 3rd or 4th down, or, when we need a play to be made, then, that's what I needed to do. But I think the guys know that. And, anyway, anything that helps us to win. So
first game without Tez in the lineup, how do you think your receiver room stepped up to still make you guys effective on offense?
Really second. I know starting wise, but 2 plays but I think just they've continued to respond in the right way, and I can do a better job helping them in that sense. But I don't have the stats here, but I think there's a lot of things I could have been better and help them out. And I think when you look at those creating completions, and that all has to go with rhythm, and like I said, I'll definitely have to look back at it and see how I can help them and how we can help each other.
Two top 5 teams lose today, including one of the other remaining unbeatens. Not that you concern yourself with those results, but is it a reminder perhaps that winning is hard, and for as much as you guys might see to clean up from a game like this, it's also nice to come away with the result you want, even if you feel like it wasn't the cleanest.
Love that you said that's real. Every time you step out there, it's tough. There's a chance you're taking, and that's kind of the competitive side of it. And you have to bring your A game every week. I didn't think we did that. And that starts with me, and helping each other do that. But how you said, finding ways to win through adversity. And then the defense playing really well and creating, huge turnovers. They played their butt off, and we need to help them so we can play complementary football and, make it look a little cleaner for sure.
You've said that you're not really going to look back on history until you're done playing and be able to look back on being part of it at that point. But in this moment, obviously, with your name being in the record books the way it is, who do you think of from your life that has sort of helped you to this point and helped you build to this point?
Just everyone in every step of the way. I think as a kid, you just love playing the game, and I've been a guy who's tried to play the game as long as I can, and maximize every moment. That's from youth football league to middle school football, intermediate football, high school, college, so on. But I think more than anything, that's not things you'll take with you. It's the relationships, the people, Janoris catching that touchdown, things like that is things I'll remember, not necessarily, a record book. And I think that's true to a lot of people. And I think that just happens when you lock in and focus and where you're at, and like I said, I don't want to shy away from that or dodge the question, but I think getting to this point has always been pouring into people, being right where my feet are, and maximizing the moment, because that's all we have. So
Dillon, you had said the 3 and out to start the third quarter. There were a couple of those in the first half.
We scored in the third quarter, though.
You did. Congrats.
I remember the 3 points. So
how important was it to get the ball back after that fake? What was kind of the offensive momentum at that point? What did that do for you guys to get the ball back after it looked like another 3 and out? And then, as a follow up to that, and this is probably a dumb question, but when you're on the sideline, do you know that that's the call, that it's a fake punt? And are you in on that, or are you ever caught off guard by a call like that?
I have been caught off guard in the past. I did know about this one. But that's a huge play in the game, just an explosive play. And then we go down and kind of a momentum, swing with the type of plays you're running all the way down to the goal line, and then how we score, and then the 2-point as well. So I think that was real for rhythm and momentum. But Jordan Birch, gosh, he looked like a running back. We might have to put him in short yardage goal line. Gosh, did you see him run, James? That's impressive.
First of all, congrats on breaking the touchdown record.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, right before halftime, Maryland got their first touchdown, and it seemed like it was a bit of a questionable call, the pass interference in the end zone. Obviously, the crowd didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys were able to answer with a touchdown drive just before the first half clock expired. I guess I'm wondering, does a call like that change anything with the team mindset? Maybe make you guys hungrier to score on that next drive, or if it's just the same every play?
I think there's a little bit to that, and I say that because when there's a pass interference call and maybe necessarily you don't agree with it or what it may be, naturally that those puts you in such situations where you got to have it, and you got to go put a drive together to not make it a close one, or you're leaving up to chance. So I think there's real, mentality switch to that as well of knowing what you got to go do, but also we try to not let it sway and have an effect on just daily drives and creating rhythm and creating consistency back to back. It's something we strive for. We talk about a bunch. Easy to say, hard to do.
I know you're not looking at the offensive line play in real time, but with Dave and Kavika both getting in there throughout the game, just what were your impressions of how they performed, how the line held up? Because 4 TFLs, no sacks, and I don't think any of the pressure you faced necessarily was due to anything from them, but first impressions of how they handled things.
I love how they handled things, and I remember our Thursday meeting, I point out those 3 guys in particular, Janoris, Kavika, and Dave, and we talked about got your 6 this week, got your back. And, I challenged those guys to step up to the plate, and they're getting their opportunity and, make the most of it. But, I think the challenge went well, and those are guys who prepared really well this week and fought their butt off in practice. So to see that translate for them is important.
You and Ferg are so close. Your guys' first touchdown connection tonight. Speak to the personal significance of that, but also to go into half, obviously, with some momentum.
Yeah, happy for him. You know, it's been a long time coming to make it happen, but you know, just his journey in the season and having to go through some adversity and come back and be so confident from, you know, what he went through. I'm happy for him, and he's continued to build that back, his confidence. But you know, we're doing that together, and we're working at it. You know, and there's some connections issues on you know, our part, but all things we can get better at. That's what, you know, I love is we'll go in, you know, to watch a film tomorrow and, you know, nip everything in the bud, and you know, we need to keep getting better. That's the name of the game, and very happy that we won the game and fought through adversity. So
that is leadership from an experienced quarterback right there, knowing that the connection needs to continue to improve and working on that connection with a guy like Terrence Ferguson, challenging guys like Kavika Rogers, Dave Iuli, Janoris Wilson, knowing that they're going to see more playing time in this week than they have in previous weeks, and challenging them to step up to the task at hand. That is leadership from an experienced quarterback, clearly experienced because he's had enough time to tally the most total touchdowns in FBS history for a quarterback. Congratulations to Dillon Gabriel. And when we come back after a quick timeout, I'm not sure if there was an earthquake. It registered on the Richter scale. All I know is that Kobe Savage made a hit that made the whole building shake, and he led the team in tackles with 9 of them. Hearing from him when we return on Duck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle.
Or forget extra diapers.
You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey. We started keeping it in the booth at Autzen this year for Shout. It's been so much fun. Getting to experience Shout with Jerry, Jorgie, Joey, all the guys that's up there in the booth with us, that's a fun experience. Getting to experience it on the air with all of those guys and all the rest of you down on the field, oh my goodness, is that fun. It's an experience that I wish everybody could have. It is so much fun. It is electric inside of Autzen Stadium when it's shouting. It's electric inside of Autzen Stadium when you've got safeties who are bringing the hammer. the hammer the way that Kobe Savage did this weekend. There was a hit or two in there where I wasn't sure that the opponent was going to stay in the game at the very least, because Kobe Savage, I mean, when that guy gets downhill, oh my goodness, can he bring the hits. And he played the hits on Saturday. 9 tackles for Kobe Savage. Bringing the wood. Let's hear from the safety.
I mean, it's amazing. Like, that's the whole reason I feel like a lot of people play defense, just so they don't have to get hit like that. You know what I mean? But no, it was a really good feeling. I just get so excited out there, like being able to showcase my talents along with my brothers out there, and knowing that I got their back regardless. Like, I was coming out of the post to keep a roof on top of the house, and I was just my whole mentality was not letting them get forward too much. So
12 penalties for 95 yards tonight. Dan said a lot to clean up. What do you kind of think happened in this game after it had been going so well throughout the season?
Yeah, like you said, we haven't seen that since like week 1, week 2. It was just the little things. I feel like we had a face mask. I mean, you can help that, but it's just kind of tough on tackling. Like the PIs, it was just little things like with technique. I feel like that, but those are easy cleanups. Like, that's something we could easily fix at practice, and then it'll probably show up again later on in the season. But I don't think to that extent with that many penalties.
A big picture in that regard, what's the right way for you guys to process this moving forward? Because first of all, winning's hard. You're 10-0, and not many other teams can say that. But then again, the 12 penalties. What's the right way to kind of process this, given all that?
Yeah, I mean, just attacking it at practice, like making sure we're working on that technique. I know for sure in the secondary, Coach Hamp does a good job of like reiterating that, whether it's a walkthrough rep or a live rep during the Tuesday practice, a Bloody Tuesday. He'll reiterate just not grabbing too much. He'll even put boxing gloves on some guys just to stop from holding too much. But yeah, I mean, it just comes with practice. I feel like we'll attack that a lot this week. I mean, we do up downs every day at practice just for penalties. So Coach Lanning will definitely hit us with that.
Coach mentioned perhaps a lack of focus overall as a team tonight. Did you get that sense as well? And if so, how were you able to adjust and improve throughout the game?
Yeah, I definitely feel like early on we started off fast, and we were just really killing ourselves with the penalties. Like, I feel like that's the thing he was getting at with lack of focus. Like within our technique, just being too grabby, I feel like. But like I said, it's easy. It's an easy fix. We can regroup after a tough win like that and just hit it hard tomorrow.
Thoughts on just the game-breaking ability of a guy like Jordan Birch? Obviously, the sack fumble, but also, what was your perspective on him getting the ball and running on the fake punt?
That's a big dude who can move good. I feel like one of the top, if not the top, DNs in the nation. Jordan Birch brings a lot of energy and juice to his team. A great leader, my brother. But yeah, like having like a front like that, it just makes covering a lot easier. And he always gets the job done. I feel like just like you said, like it's just a key factor, whether it's special teams or defense.
For as many issues as there may have been in penalties and some disappointing plays on third down, Kobe, I mean, you guys hold one of the most dynamic passing offenses to their lowest passing yards in over a season. Their explosive receivers don't do a whole lot. How do you feel like you guys were able to contain Prather and Felton tonight?
Yeah, I feel like those were the two snakes going in this game, 10-1. We did, like you said, a pretty good job on eliminating the explosive passes and really just honing into the coverage, like knowing that we got different leverages and we got a post safety or we got rat backers playing right there. So, like you said, just limiting those explosives and playing with good eyes and technique is what I felt like led to that.
Kobe, there's games where it's obvious how you guys would find motivation or get hyped when you got Ohio State or you're playing for the first time at the big house. Is it a challenge to create that when the game doesn't necessarily present like as big of a moment as some of those other games? And do you think that could have been a factor with some of the focus type stuff that you guys encountered today?
I feel like the biggest thing Coach Lanning does every Sunday or Monday whenever we refresh and get to a new team is just like reiterating that this is the most important game because it's the next game. It's going to define our season, whether we win, lose, or draw. Like, we have to attack this every week with the same prep as we did with Ohio State to Idaho to Michigan State. Like, we have to come in with the same mentality and the same prep that we have to dominate this team and destroy our one-on-ones.
First defensive touchdown of the year for you guys, 3 forced turnovers. Just speak to kind of that mentality today, and kind of noticeable how much you guys celebrate after those plays. Kind of speak to what that does to your defense in terms of maybe bringing energy.
Yeah, one of our 3 main points in our defense is ball disruption, and I feel like Coach does a good job reiterating that the ball week, and we were trying to score on defense. We remember talking about the Bucks defense and how they scored 9 touchdowns, and we wanted to be a part of something great as that. We wanted to be a great defense like that, and I feel like BJ had amazing awareness to scoop and score that. And Birch, obviously, with the strip sack, and yeah, you'll see us celebrating with our brothers because it's all about getting our brothers. Like, we got each other's back. We got each other's six.
Can you explain what the energy is like on the sideline when someone like Jer Norris scores or Josh Connolly gets a 2-point conversion? What does that do for your team momentum-wise?
It's amazing because you see it being practiced, and like some schools, like they'll practice it, but you'll never it'll never happen. But to see that come to life, like I didn't even expect that with Jer Norris, but it was really cool. Like, you're happy for those guys that worked their butt off at practice, got that chance in the game with Coach Lanning trusting them to do that, and then you're just excited with Jer Norris and then right back with Josh, 2 linemen scoring, which was amazing. I'm really happy for those guys.
I was excited too, Kobe. I won't lie. I was pretty excited too up in the booth when those plays happened back to back. I love what Kobe Savage said. Each week, got to dominate the one-on-ones. Dominate the one-on-ones. Next week's the most important week. It's the most important game coming up next week against Wisconsin on the road because it's the next one. 4:30 Pacific time, that's kickoff. It'll be late there in Madison, Wisconsin, so a night game in front of a raucous crowd. 2:30 pregame will be when we take air here on the Oregon Sports Network on Saturday for that matchup against the Badgers as the Ducks go on the road for the final time during the regular season, trying to close out a perfect road record on the year as Oregon goes up against Wisconsin. 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 local, 2:30 pregame is when kick will happen over in Madison, Wisconsin. We got to take a timeout. When we come back, we open the show with it. We're going to close the show with it too. What a win last night at MKA. Returning after this on Duck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up. It's shifting. I looked through his eyes. I can envision a whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio on Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Just talked Oregon football and how the Ducks continue to stay undefeated, 10-0 as we head into week 11, well, game 11, more weeks than that, but game 11 against Wisconsin coming up this Saturday. Oregon women's basketball, they've only played 3. they're undefeated too. 3-0, and they hosted number 12 Baylor last night and got the victory. A huge win, the first ranked win for Oregon in 14 contests. Safe to say, big time, safe to say, starting in the right direction this season for Kelly Graves' Oregon women's basketball squad. Coach KG, after a stellar performance at MKA, stellar environment at MKA last night. Thoughts after a big win over a ranked team from head coach Kelly Graves.
All right, first chance I've had to see the stats here, but we'll go without stats. So, well, first of all, I'm couldn't be more thrilled and prouder of a team than I was tonight. You know, we played so well for a good portion of that game and then lost that big lead, but to kind of come back and then make the plays down the stretch the way we did actually shows a lot of character. And I'm just really proud of our team. You know, they executed when we needed to, and that's a good win. You know, the Matthew Knight hasn't, for us, hasn't been that loud in the last couple of years. So this is a big win for our program. And, you know, Baylor's a great team. They're going to have an amazing season. And first of all, I do wish their player, Fauntleroy, got hurt. And I praying that it's nothing too serious, but just a great win.
His last shot, was that supposed to go to her, or was it ad-libbed?
Yeah, ad-libbed. I think in that moment we were trying to get it into Deja's hand. You know, she's kind of made for these kind of moments, and you know, they did a nice job with it, and she was unselfish enough to give it up to Elisa. And I think there was so much attention on you know, Deja in that instance. There was an open driving lane, so Elisa. She's a heck of a player, man. She's a heck of a player, and I was really happy she made that last play. But no, I'd like to sit here and say, oh yeah, that's the way we drew it up, but not the case. She made that on her own.
What were you maybe most proud of? What were the things you were thinking of that really stood out about this particular one?
Well, you know, we've got a new team. You know, we've got a brand new team, and you know, with that is you know, you have some growing pains. We turned it over a little bit too much tonight, and you know, we weren't perfect, but, you know, to just kind of gut it out. You know, we've kind of talked to them all year about, hey, we can be a really, really great team. But until you see it, until you get a win like this, you may not believe it. And so now we've, you know, they've got that now in the back of their heads. And on the first Big Ten Network game, pretty cool.
First win over a ranked opponent since February 2023. Safe to say Oregon women's basketball is back. Does it feel back like it was?
Well, we won tonight. You know, we got a long way to go before we can say that. But to get there, you have to have big wins like this. So, yeah, and what a great crowd. I mean, they were really into it. You know, late in that game, there were times when sound had some feel to it, and that was pretty neat, and that helped us. So we got to keep getting, you know, this kind of support. It was great to see the students out tonight too.
It felt like Alexis really in the second quarter kind of started everything for you guys. What did her presence mean for you tonight?
Yeah, well, Lexi's a you know, a heck of a player, and she produces. You know, she can score. She hit a three. She can get to the rim. She does a lot well, and yeah, there for a while she kind of carried us and kept us in the game, and yeah, I think you saw how versatile she is too. You know, can play inside and outside.
You already talked about this a little bit, but what does it mean to you that this team can kind of recover from going down off a run? It's like a bounce back ability that maybe wasn't there. What does that mean in terms of mentality?
Yeah, well, just showed late in the game. I mean, we just talked about we just need one stop, and there for about 6 or 7 possessions we couldn't get any. And, you know, and then that kind of, and we got a little bit casual with the ball a couple of times. I mean, these guys really get after you, and I thought we at times kind of forgot that, hey, these guys are, you know, they're aggressive, and we gave them some extra possessions. But, yeah, I just, again, I think that shows great character late in the game when, you know, you kind of give up a lead like that. The momentum is completely on their side, and then we just made a couple of stops when we really needed to. You know, Philly, I thought was really big, and she got a very important rebound late in that game. You know, she's still 70%, if that, and to see her kind of come up and be on the floor when we needed it was great to see.
The defensive intensity in the first half in particular, how do you feel like your team got up for this matchup?
I thought we were ready to play, and you could see it. I thought defensively we had a pretty good game. Those guys attacked the basket, and we let down at times. We weren't perfect, but for the most part, I thought defensively played a really solid game and did a nice job on their center. She wasn't a huge factor. I think she made a couple maybe late, but I thought we did a nice job on Nettie inside. She's a heck of a player.
What about Nani's contributions coming off the bench? That third quarter, it was probably big for her personally.
Yeah, huge. I mean, Nani, we knew she could do that, and I was joking with her, because Kingsley's playing for the Chiefs, and they won at the end against my Broncos. I just don't know how they keep winning, but I told her tonight, I said, bring some of that same kind of magic to us, and she did. It was just, I don't think I've ever pumped my fist so hard as when she hit that three in the corner, because I know how hard she's wanted this, and the first couple games haven't really gone her way, but when we needed her most, she stepped up big.
Team like Baylor, who you played last year and returned so much production, how does that help in terms of your game planning and prep to get ready for this one tonight?
Well, we didn't use last year's game at all. I didn't even look at it. We have a completely different team, even though they're similar. They have a lot of their players back. It was part of our highlight, synergy, a few of our possessions from that game, but I didn't refer to that.
You had a speed mismatch with the front court. Like it felt like Lexi especially could get past their forwards, and even Amina too.
Well, yeah, we felt like that, but we've got to. I think inside we've just got to get a little bit tougher and get some easier baskets from our inside players. But yeah, I don't know. The Bugs is pretty athletic. I'm not sure we had an advantage at the 4 spot. Necessarily.
Over here, Deja at the end and kind of the group huddle talking to the team about how we need to build off this, basically not saying let's not just live in this moment, let's continue off it. What does that mean for you as a coach to hear a player like that just not, again, letting the moment overtake everything and like saying, hey, let's take this to the next level?
Yeah, well, Deja's the whole package. She brings it every day in practice. She leads. She's always talking to the team. She's always taking the young guards that we have and mentoring them. And, she's used to playing in big games like this. So, that's one of the reasons we were really excited that she came here. But, we can't get lost in that. I was telling them in the locker room, hey, it's nice. Let's enjoy it tonight. But tomorrow we have one day to prep for a pretty good North Texas team coming in here on Tuesday morning. So this is like an NCAA where you play maybe an evening game, and 2 days later you get the breakfast bracket game.
You guys got the stop with 7 seconds, and then they didn't foul. Was there something that you guys did in terms of maybe they given them a look they weren't prepared for, or did you have an understanding?
Yeah, I don't know. We just tried to spread them out, and we got the ball in fairly easily, and then we were expecting them to kind of swarm us and get a foul, but my coaching staff did a nice job tonight. They were on point, and that was Jody, one of those that she just set up, spread the floor, and made it hard to guard.
I want to talk about Elise's. Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Just her passing. It felt like there were a couple key moments. I know she didn't score much, but there were a couple of assists that it felt like she was constantly making an impact.
Who was that?
Elisa.
Oh, yeah.
Her passing. It just felt like it was dynamite. Can you just talk a little bit about that and where that come from and how?
Well, she averaged 5.5 assists last year. I mean, she is a point guard by trade. She's kind of playing it off and on for us. But, yeah, she's got a great ability to pass. And she's crafty like those Europeans always are, A lot of those wraparound passes that she makes. She's just a really good player. And I don't think she's ever been on a stage like this. Well, maybe at the gold medal game. But that was half court, it was neat to see her kind of respond the way she did in this kind of a moment. So happy on her.
That's Coach Kelly Graves after the game. And you didn't see it, but right when he came up to the podium, he wringed out the water from his shirt that if you saw in the open, his team trounced him in. You know what I'm talking about. They completely dumped on top of him in the post game. So celebrations all the way around, but a quick turnaround. We're talking about that quick turnaround when we return after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We're still reveling in the win of Oregon over Baylor last night, a ranked win for the Ducks on the women's basketball court. Don't have too much time to revel in it because tomorrow morning, Oregon women's basketball is going to be back in action. And what that means is we don't have a show here because all of you, I know, are going to be listening to Chris Clayton, Bev Smith courtside as Oregon faces off against North Texas on the women's basketball front. 11 a.m. tip-off time at Matthew Knight Arena. If you can get out, please do. Continue that raucous environment that we saw last night. I know it's hard. I know it's a Tuesday in the middle of the day. Long lunch. Long lunch. Yes. Long lunch. I'll be there. I hope to see all of you there as well. Dan Lanning talking with the media tomorrow. That'll be up on the Go Ducks YouTube channel. No show tomorrow. Joey will have us back here on Wednesday. Have fun, everybody. Go Ducks. See ya.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you